Hi, I'm Ralf Friedrichs. Welcome to Grand Central Station. The train will be here any minute, so if you're ready to get your life back on track, hop aboard. Let's go to www.clearviews.info, where I'll show you how a sober today can make a better tomorrow. If you're ready to get your life back on track, hop aboard the train coming in about 2 minutes. Thank you, and have a great day. www.clearviews.info. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Folks, if somebody had to paint a picture of your image, what would it look like? Good morning. Welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today's feature presentation is how to come back after relapse. So grab your popcorn, grab your soda. Good morning. Welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today's feature presentation is how to come back after relapse. So grab your popcorn, grab your soda. Get back within 5 minutes for today's presentation of how to come back after relapse. Sit back, relax, kick your feet up, and enjoy the program. A sober today makes for a better tomorrow. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today we're going to talk about negative people that might be in your life, or you might even be a negative person in recovery. This is all in the realm of recovery and negative people. Before we go and jump right into that, let me just give it a shout out to two individuals. Dr. Gonzalez, he is from startingpointmn.com. That's startingpointmn.com. And what his organization or his business does is one of two things, or both. The first thing is that they actually coach people in recovery. Pretty much what I'm studying to be a addiction recovery coach. That's the one aspect. And the other aspect is to turn you, if you'd like to, into a addiction recovery coach. So both of those items are available there. Dr. Gonzalez is an international established recovery coach with a broad understanding of behavioral, psychological, with a master's in counseling and doctorate in health and human services. Let me read that again. Dr. Gonzalez is an international established recovery coach with a broad understanding of behavioral psychology, with a master's in counseling and a doctorate in health and human services. You can reach Dr. Gonzalez over at 1-844-414-8444. That's a lot of fours. That's Dr. Gonzalez at startingpointmn.com. The other shout out goes to a TV talk show, and the host, her name is Pam Hemphill. She's a dear friend of mine. We speak quite often together. She runs my commercials on her TV talk show. You could find her on youtube.com/channel/UCWLYVK. You can also find her at facebook.com/pages/Time to Heal Recovery Talk TV show. Her and I, we are both soldiers in recovery, fighting the war on addiction, and so is Dr. Gonzalez. He also fights to help the folks out that are in recovery. We are all the soldiers that are out there daily, stopping the beat of addiction and recovery, and we can always help with any type of question. If you want to reach out to us, again, you can reach Dr. Gonzalez. If you'd like to utilize any of his services, at 844-414-8444, and you can reach out to Pam Hemphill over at facebook.com/Time to Heal. You can reach out to her there. If you need to personally speak to her, just look up her name on Pam Hemphill on Facebook. Click befriend or add a friend, and hopefully she'll become friends with you and you folks can talk. As far as my contact information, I am Ralf Friedrichs, and you can reach me at 631-599-0218. You can also reach me on my email. That's ralf.friedrichs@yahoo.com. That's RALF.FRIEDRICHS@yahoo.com. My website, www.clearviews.info. That's CLEARVIEWSINFO. There's a dot between Clearviews and info, so it's .info. What does the CLEAR stand for? People ask me that all the time, so I'm going to briefly, usually I wait until the middle of the program to do this, but let me tell you right now. Clear views. So you look at the first part, clear, and then views. Take away the views for a minute, and what does CLEAR stand for? C is for community, L is for lessons, E is for empower, A is for addiction, and R is for recovery. And it's the community lessons that empower addiction recovery's views. It's our views, it's Pam's views, it's Dr. Gonzalez's views, it's your views. We as a community have plenty of lessons that empower us to fight addiction recovery, and that's what clearviews.info stands for. So now you have an understanding why I decided to call my website, my program, Clear Views. And of course, the title of every one of my videos is Take Your Life Back. And that is exactly what you will do once you finally hit rock bottom and you realize that yes, you have a problem and you need to fight addiction. And when that happens, it is 100% uphill from there as far as the battle of addiction. But making it easier are people like myself, people like Pam and Dr. Gonzalez, where we walk with you uphill. And when we reach the top of that hill and you start going downhill, it becomes easier and easier. But the first couple of weeks are hard, into the month and the 2 months become very hard. But if you go 24 hours at a time, you will succeed. And like I always tell you folks, if you can't do 24 hours, break down the 24 hours into maybe 6 hours. Make 4 6-hour shifts. If that's still too much, break it down into per hour. Like I had an example. It might be 11 o'clock right now, but I'm shooting for 11:02. Let me make 2 minutes further into my recovery. Let me make 2 minutes further battling my addiction. But never ever go further than 24 hours. So let's jump right into this, and we're going to talk about dealing with negative people in recovery. And there's nobody in your life that doesn't exist, that might be negative. There are people in my life that are negative, and it's so hard to deal with them. I, for one, have decided a while back to look at everything as a positive situation. I don't want to look at the glass being half, I mean, I do want to look at the glass being half full when other people say, well, it's half empty. Why is it half empty? But I'm like, it's half full. And I always do say that even with a loaf of bread, if you only have a half a loaf, it's better than no loaf. It's true. So let's jump into it. Again, this information was provided to me by the Mayo Clinic in some of their blogs. And pretty much what it does, and I'm looking around here because there's a lot for me to read, folks. Pretty much what it will do is break down what we need to look for in negative people, and maybe even ourselves. I mean, are you a negative person? No matter what, do you feel that you find fault in not just yourself, maybe in other people and situations? Because if you are a negative person, you need to let the sunshine come into your home. Wherever you're sitting right now, I happen to be in my bedroom. I usually do this out of my living room, but let the sunshine come in. Even if everything seems to be so negative around you and things are just not looking good, you can wipe out negativity with sunshine. Because negativity is darkness. It's just like at night when it's dark out. What happens when the sun comes out and puts the sun on the earth? It becomes sunshine, and that's what positive reinforcement really is. So let's go right in. I'm going to read this to you. Difficult interpersonal relationships in recovery. One of the most difficult areas of life for those who walk away from addiction can be interpersonal relationships. It will often have been their discomfort around other people that drove the individual into substance abuse in the first place. It could have been people just constantly making fun of you, people that are criticizing you. It could be your job, it could be your relationship, it could be relatives. When these people are sober, they will need to learn how to deal with the other humans without the crutch of alcohol or drugs. And that's including me, folks, and it might be you. Let's look at it this way. When you are sober, the negativity that's around you is going to be so much more stronger towards you because you're actually seeing it with a clearer mind. So how do you deal with that? Well, here, let's continue. This can be difficult in the beginning and lead to high emotion and stress, and we talk about the stresses. Life usually means spending time with other people, and some of these people will be easier to get along with than others, and that's in any, whether you're addicted or not, that's in anything we do in life. Some people are easier to get along with than others. One of the most difficult people to deal with is the person who excessively is negative. Absolutely. In fact, if newly sober people spend too much time around these individuals, it can be, according to them, it could be probably the worst thing that can happen to affect your sobriety. In other words, because it's a whole extra paragraph, I'm going to kind of wrap it up with that particular sentence. Is what they're saying is if you're around too much negativity or too many negative people, that will affect your sobriety, your quest on fighting your addiction. Characteristics of negative people, and this is a whole long list. And folks, if you want to write this down, this video will be on Google, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, amongst other places. There's a whole list of places that I forward this. You might even find a copy eventually on Time to Heal on Pam's program. But here we go. Pessimism about the future. Now let's talk about that. The glass is always half empty. The individual will expect bad things to happen to them. That's pessimism. It's always half empty. I said it was half full, but no, it's half empty. Where's the other half? Distrust of other people. The person will have a tendency to ascribe negative motives to the actions of even those people who are trying to help them, no matter what. And this can include yourself, even if you're fighting addiction, even if you're in recovery. Some of these signs can be yourself, it could be people around you. They lose friends easily and always seem to have somebody in their life who are not talking to. There might be somebody in your life you're not talking to. It could be a relative, it could be a family member, it could be somebody at your job. It could be a person that's very negative that's around you. They will tend to blame other people for all the bad things that have happened to them. Well, that is so negative. Folks, if you're in recovery and you're not, whatever has happened in your life, 99% is choices that you have made, because nobody can force you to do anything. Nobody. Your actions come with reactions, and any reaction is your consequence. So if it's a positive reaction or action, it will give you a positive reaction. If it's a negative action, it'll give you back negative reactions. Constant criticizing other people and the world in general. That's what negative people do, no matter what. You could be watching the news. It could be the dress that the newscaster is wearing. It could be the food that you're being served at dinner. It could be possibly the way you talk. It could be anything. They will criticize. They may have a tendency toward passive aggressiveness or even aggression. Folks, I've been around people like that. It's not an easy thing when you invite people over. It could be family members. Everybody has different personalities. But folks, if we all have different personalities, which we do, wouldn't it be easier to get along if everybody just had a slight ounce of positivity in their life? They feel anger, resentment towards others, and they feel they might even harm them. Folks, when you start getting physical, whether it's you or somebody in your life, it's time to look at my video, Domestic Abuse. Look at that one, okay? Because it's not a good one. And my videos are too short for me to go into each and everything and analyze all. So I can just refer you to my domestic abuse video on that. Do you like to make mountains out of molehills? Go into a restaurant and maybe the meat wasn't cooked perfectly like they wanted. They make a whole scene. That is making a mountain out of a molehill. This means that they blow things way out of proportion. They have a tendency towards engaging in shading fruta, whatever that means. Oh, here we go. This is what that means. This means that they enjoy hearing about the misfortune of other people because it makes them feel better. Somebody else's down life, misfortune makes them feel better. Don't you become one, or don't you allow that in your own life. They feel bitter about the things that have happened to them in the past. Again, your actions give you reactions. They're unwilling to let go of old grudges. We've all made mistakes. So if somebody that you have possibly hurt and they bring it up to your present life, present addiction recovery life, avoid that person as much as you can, because every time they bring up things that you might have done, that might cause you to have a stressor. So avoid that. Let's see. Negative people tend to be completely self-centered. Yes, they are. It's all about them. It really is. And you know what, folks? It's about the thing that I always discuss. Everybody's out to get them. It's a conspiracy as they know it. They like to focus on the faults of everyone but their own. God forbid you bring up their faults. Sometimes they feel superior to everyone else, while at other times they feel inferior to everyone else. That's unbelievable. And what it really tells you is that they only care about themselves. They hold a cynical attitude and distrust in new ideas. Folks, I've said this before and I'm going to tell you now. And if there is anybody watching this that I possibly might be talking about, it's not a thing that I will be ashamed of, but there are some people that maybe have visited me or maybe watch my videos and see that the excitement, the passion that I show in these videos or on my website to help other people. And it's for two reasons, folks. The first reason is to help me. And the second reason is because I truly believe that this is God's calling for me. There's going to be a time in everybody's life where they might find that one thing that might be their calling, and this is my one thing. So if anyone out there, whether it's my own family members or it's people that know me, that have visited me or see my videos, think that there's any motive behind my videos or my website or my passion to help, there isn't. And for the people that maybe have any distrust to this, I do not get paid one penny to do this. I do that at kindness of my own heart, And again, I feel that it's my calling, and it's between me and my God what my motives are, and He knows my motive is one thing only, and that's for me to stay sober, and that's for me to help you. They will tend to see that the world is in black and white. In their eyes, things are either right or wrong. There is no in between. This is an unhelpful way to think because many things in life are not so clear, including your recovery. That's why I always refer to my 16 alternative steps to AA's 12 steps, because not everything is black and white, or not every there's a lot in between those steps, and I make it easier to understand. Let's get back to it. They try to encourage other people to share their negative view of the world. You don't see that this glass is half empty? Where is the other half? But I'm telling you, it's half full. But it's half empty, so that's the other half is gone, and that's what people will do. What do you mean half a loaf? Where's the whole loaf? But listen, if I didn't give you any bread, I'm giving you a half a loaf. It would have been so much better than no bread at all. And I know there's going to be people like my wife laughing at my examples, but it's true. Negative people will, and I'm going to say it again, will find fault in no matter what you do, including making remarks or showing some kind of or raising the eyebrows over my videos and my excitement and my passion for this. There is going to be negativity, and I welcome the negativity with my counteraction of my positive and my positivity, because my positive thoughts, my positive actions will give nothing but positive reactions. You understand that, folks? Here we go. They enjoy pulling apart the achievements of others. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Some of these people that might raise their eyebrows or question me on why I do my videos and my website are the same people that would rather see me sitting in front of the TV, and then when I do that, and I do it daily on a consistent basis, those are the same negative people that say, why do you just sit and watch TV? Do you see my point here? So you're going to run into people like that. They begrudge the success of other people and resent them for it because it's not them. Well, folks, whoever you might be, if you truly want to do what other people do, and you want them to fail for you to succeed, then get off your chair and start working at it, because everything is possible. Nothing in the world is impossible. If you believe it here, folks, you can achieve it in your living room, your kitchen, wherever you might be. Addiction and negativity. Those individuals who fall into alcohol and drug abuse tend to adopt extremely negative mental attitude. And it can happen because you're so sober, you're analyzing everything around you. So don't let it happen. Part of the reason for this is that the person will have plenty of things to feel bad about, as addiction takes them into a downward spiral. So if you're not recovering, or you haven't come up with an action plan on what you're going to do, folks, I have 34 videos. Any one of them, go to it. I'm trying to inspire you and motivate you, whether you're in recovery yet or you're thinking about it, to do something about it, because without your actions, there is no reaction. And if you give positive actions, you will get positive reactions. But if you give negative actions, you'll get negative reactions. However, even with my positive actions, my video, my website, my Facebook, I still get negative reactions, but it's usually of the people that are just negative people. The difference I have to do is separate what I believe I'm doing is good, and understanding that no matter what I would do for this particular person or people, it will have a negative reaction. So remember that. Where were we? Okay. Here we go. Part of the reason for this is that the person will have plenty of things to feel bad about, as the addiction takes them the downward spiral. Another reason for this, why addicts become trapped in negativity, is that they use to justify their behavior. That's what they'll do. They'll find so much fault around them that they don't even look at themselves. What is it that they have that is so negative? And why is it that other people don't bring that out to them? Just because I would say 80% of people in life that succeed in life, succeed in actions, are positive. And the sooner you let go of that negativity in your life, the sooner it'll be better for you. I promise you that. I have tried to look for good in any situation that I'm in, whether it's bills, whether it's relationships, or ship because it's my wife, or well, it could be relationships because it'd be other family members. And I still find myself when I run into a negative person to kind of almost dive right into their own little ball game, and I can't do that. But this all goes along as we grow in sobriety. Look at Pam Hemphill from Time to Heal. She's 36 years of soberness. I bet you if I asked her right now, if I was able to do a phone interview right now, she would tell me that she could be trapped too by a person that has negative attitude. So it's us as people in sobriety to grow within ourselves. And the more we grow, the better we becoming understanding people around us and working around their situation. Because they're not going to work around your situation. They're not going to work with you as far as your sobriety. It's all up to you to accept your addiction and work with it. Let's go back. By pointing out all the bad things in life, they can use this as an excuse to abuse alcohol and drugs. This is why, in order to successfully escape addiction, and the individual needs to also give up their pessimistic outlook of life. If you want to battle addiction and you want to succeed, look at things in a positive light, like I always tell you folks. If you believe it's positive here, it'll be positive in your living room. It'll be positive in your bedroom. It'll be positive in your home. It'll be sunshine in your home. The negativity is darkness. Let all that darkness disappear. Importance of escaping negativity in recovery is the next topic. Negativity in recovery can increase the risk of relapse, and it will. Those are stresses. Don't let it happen. It is sometimes referred to as a stinking thinking. Analyze that. Here we go. It can mean that the individual is cynical towards any new information. They won't accept anything new. This closed-mindedness prevents them from gaining important new knowledge in recovery. Folks, when I do these videos, every single time there's a lot of preparation to go to do, and whatever I read to you, I have already analyzed, so that the new knowledge that's being presented to me, I almost feel like as a recovering alcoholic, I've been put on this fast track of educational knowledge to make these videos. It's almost like what other people might take 2 years to learn or to educate themselves in a simpler treatment method. I am doing fast track to provide you with these videos. Like I said, and I'll say it again, I started off with maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. Today is Sunday, from last Sunday to today, this is my 8th. Now mind you, tomorrow and Tuesday there won't be any videos because I do have some classes to attend via the website and meetings to attend to further educate myself in addiction recovery coaching, and my end goal is to be certified. And when I'm completed, and Dr. Gonzalez from Starting Point MN.com tells me I have successfully completed his courses, then he will certify me, and this is what you're going to get. But I will never ever change my format. This is me. Whether I'm certified as a coach or not, this is me. This is Ralph speaking to you from the bottom of my heart each and every day. I am truly out here to help myself, to help you, because when I help you, you help me. And that's the way it is. And that's the simple truth. So let's get back. One of the biggest dangers of such negativity is that it can lead to self-fulfilling prophecy. This is where the act of predicting bad things actually lead to those bad things happening. Folks, if you think it's going to happen, it might happen. This is why I hate having bad dreams of somebody possibly passing away, because I never know, can a dream come true? Well, that's the same concept. When you are looking at negativity and you think things are going to happen, you start believing it's going to happen, and you yourself subconsciously might even make them happen. You follow? It sucks the joy out of recovery, thinking that way. It sucks the joy out of recovery, because recovery is such a uplifting feeling The sobriety that you have every day is uplifting, and don't let negativity bring you down. Don't let other people's negative comments and thoughts bring you down. And it doesn't even just have anything to do with addiction. It could have anything to do in life. Let's generalize this to the whole concept of negativity versus positive. And that's what I'm saying. The individual will have become physically sober, but in many ways their life is much as it always has been. This is sometimes referred to as a dry drunk syndrome. They're not drinking, but everything else is still the same, which could lead to drinking or drugging again. The negative person in recovery can be in danger to the newly sober people. If you have those negative people around you, I'm not saying dispose of them. I'm not saying disown them. I'm saying stay away from them. Don't get sucked in like a vacuum. There's a certain individual in my life, sometimes I feel like I just get sucked in because of the negativity being brought to me constantly. And it might only be a relative. It might not be a friend. It could be somebody visiting, but you feel that way. But don't let it. Put a cap on the vacuum hose that's trying to suck you in. So you stop right there and you either go back, but don't challenge the person because you're not going to win. That might be another stressor that you need to worry about falling off the wagon. So don't let them do it. Dangers of negative people to those in recovery. It is not only important that people try to move away from the negativity within themselves, but they also need to be cautious of the negativity within other people. This is because humans have a tendency or a major impact on each other, and spending time with negative people can have undesirable consequences, such as spending too much time with such individuals can be emotionally draining. Negativity can be contagious and is particularly dangerous for those who are new to recovery and still have their guards not all the way up, meaning you are not prepared for the negativity and it might affect your emotions. These individuals tend to be overly critical and they can lower the self-esteem of those around them and their constant fault-finding comments. Don't let them. I am again stressing to the point of not to confront the people, but there is a way to avoid them. It's not to confront. Find ways to avoid negativity. Most people who enter recovery are already dealing with the low self-esteem and are further deflating their own emotional capacity. They're already that weak already. So when you have somebody constantly bring you more negativity, dishing it out with the comments, that's not going to help your emotional capacity. These people may be mistaken as factual people, that whatever they say are factual remarks, factual readings that they're doing. Don't let them do anything. Do your own investigating, do your own educational fact checking. Just because they're saying it does not mean it's the truth. Here we go. They can cause problems due to the lack of tact or cynical comments. These people can cause deep upset without even realizing, because to them what they're doing is so natural they don't care. It happens to me a lot. It's happened to me in the last couple of days. Again, that vacuum hose, if I didn't put a cap on the vacuum hose that's constantly trying to suck me into their world, possibly be stressors. What is a stressor again? Stressor is, in definition by itself, a stressor is anything to make you drink or do drugs again. So what is a stressor? A stressor could be your job, it could be a relationship, it could be a relative, it could be somebody visiting with negative attitude towards you or negative remarks. Stressor could be somebody that truly, somewhere in their heart, think that you're doing all this for something. It could be for money, it could be for whatever reason. That's a stressor. Don't let it happen. You know why you're doing what you're doing. You are responsible for your reaction, because your positive reaction will give you a positive reaction. Your negative actions, that person's negative actions, will only give them negative reactions. And if you get sucked into their vacuum, that's what you'll end up at. Put a cap on the end of that vacuum hose and stand in front of that cap. Don't get sucked in. Compassion for negative people. We don't hate negative people. We should never hate any human. So show compassion. Actually feel bad for them, because as you have a disease with your addiction, with your alcoholism, your drugs, they have a disease also. It's a whole different disease. It's a negative disease. It's that something that they carry deep down inside themselves. So compassion for negative people. Negative people are not bad people, like I just said. They are always an underlying cause for their negativity, such as substance abuse themselves or some time of trauma. It could be medical reasons. It is therefore important for you to view such individuals with compassion and not scorn. That's what you need to do. This is particularly vital for those who are in addiction recovery and will have a history of such negative attitudes. In other words, this person that's being so negative is also fighting addiction, and they've always been negative before. It's hard for them, now that they're in recovery, to let go of their past, their negativity, to let go of their being themselves. I've never been a total negative person, but I've been 200% more positive in my battle with addiction, in my conquering sobriety. And that's what people need to do. Sometimes it may be very necessary to disengage from a negative person, but it is recommended that whatever people that you need to disengage yourself from, do it with compassion. Don't verbally attack them. Don't make unnecessary remarks. Just move away. And I hate the example, and I know my wife's going to get a giggle, but if this is a hose and it's got the end open, don't get sucked into it. Put a cap in front of it. Stand in front of there. Let them dispense whatever negative thoughts. Just put a wall between you and the negativity. How to deal with negative people. Here are a few ideas for how to deal effectively with those who are excessively negative. People who are in the early recovery need to keep their time with negative people to a minimum, hardly at all. This is because the newly sober people will be more sensitive to the influence of such negativity and can be more easily sapped to their motivation. So don't be sucked in. It is important not to feed the negativity of the other person, because it will just excite them and also make them more negative, and they'll give you more negative feedback. So if they're saying that the glass is half empty, just keep saying it's half full to yourself. This means not joining in their negative observations of everything around them, because they will find the camera's too bright. These signs that I have here I'm reading to you are maybe not in the right color. A video, maybe the picture should have not gone through as quick, maybe quicker. That's negativity. Negative people tend to be insensitive, and this means that they are saying things that are very hurtful, and they'll probably hurt you. Well, don't let it affect you. Put a cap at the end of the hose of negativity. Don't let the hose of negativity suck you into their world. Put a cap on it. Rather than getting upset by their comments, it's better to feel compassion, understanding, and it's their own inner unhappiness that's causing them to talk the way they do. It's because they are very low in self-esteem. They are probably not as successful as they believe they should be, and but they don't realize it's their negativity that might be stopping from further successful lives. It's because they put roadblocks on every situation. They have that tunnel vision, or like I always say, a horse with blinders. Take the blinders off, look around you, and see how beautiful the world is. It is easy to deal with negative people as part of a group, as it is less of an emotional strain than dealing one-on-one, because then they don't feel that they can attack you directly. It's hard to be the only negative person in a group of maybe 10 positive people, because the minute they attack one person, they're attacking the whole group, and the whole group will jump on them. So don't do it one-on-one. Sometimes it's the best strategy is to just not listen to what the person has to say. Yes, show compassion. Yes, shake your head, but don't agree. Don't feed into it. In some instances, the negative person will be having such an impact that you might feel that you're being sucked into their vacuum hose, and you might even agree with them. Don't let it happen, because when that happens, that negativity is now acting against your fight with addiction, and that might cause a stressor, and you might have a relapse, which is called a relapse, but I always choose to call a relapse a setback, because a relapse sounds permanent. A setback is when you fall off the wagon, you get up, dust your knees, pull yourself up, take a self-inventory, and move on. Relapse sounds very permanent. It's a setback, and if it happens to you, and it will, possibly, it happened to me 6-7 times, don't ever go back into the original abusive stages that you had. When I say abuse, it's with the drugs or alcohol, or both. So folks, what we just went over are all the signs, all the things you need to look out for with negativity. So like we always talk in every video, let's talk about different methods of fighting your addiction. You have AA, which has been around since 1936. They have millions of people go through there. It works for a lot of people. They have the 12-step program. Unfortunately, I felt that I had a higher power, or a higher expectation. I want to be more active. And it is these videos and my website, my Facebook, and helping people in different states that I'll be talking about in a second, that these negative people, certain negative people, have some thoughts saying, what is your motive, Ralph? What is your motive other than trying to help somebody? Why don't you charge for these videos? These are the things that I'm getting from certain people. Why don't I charge? Because information relayed to you or to me will be absorbed 100% when it's for free. If I was going to charge somebody to educate them about addiction recovery, they might not listen to me as well. But because I'm going into your living room, into your kitchen, no matter wherever you might be watching this, I'm coming in there free of charge with nothing wanted in return other than one thing, and that's if you have an addiction, is to learn how to fight it, learn how to live with it, and to seek other alcoholics in recovery and help them. Whatever I feed you, absorb like a sponge, wring yourself out, and let that educational water that just came out of the sponge go to other people. Because it is your job as well as mine to help other people in recovery, to help people with an addiction that maybe are seeking recovery. And if they need coaching, you can always have them go to Dr. Gonzalez over at startingpointmn.com at 1-844-414-8444. And if they go there, they can seek getting coaching for their recovery, or they can seek to become a coach. 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez over at Starting Point at www.startingpointmn.com. They can also seek Pam Hemphill from Recovery Talk TV show. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook. She has 36 years of sobriety under her belt. She's a veteran soldier in the fight of addiction. Seek her. Befriend her on Facebook. It's Pam, P-A-M, Hemphill, H-E-M-P-H-I-L-L. Time to Heal Recovery TV Talk Show also has a group on Facebook, which is called Time to Heal, and it's the group. Just ask to join the group. There's millions of things for you to see there to help you in your battle with recovery or addiction. So you have AA, you have my methods that we spoke about, that some people in my life feel there's a motive behind it, which there isn't. My methods are pretty simple. I get the facts and I bring it to you. I bring it to your home. I bring it to your, wherever you're watching me. You can go to my website, www.clearviews.info. That's CLEARVIEWS.info. You'll get to see the knowledge, the education that I pick up by reading, by examining, by, if you go on my website, by doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists that have actually supplied that knowledge, and is them, in a clinical sense, are dispensing that information to you. It is not me. I merely take that information, post it on my website, and talk about it on my videos. That's all I do. But you will see approximately 34 of my own tapes. Lately, my tapes have been running into almost an hour apiece. In the beginning, they started with maybe 8 minutes. And as I became stronger in front of a camera, my messages become clearer. And that's the growing process, as I would be also fighting the battle of addiction. The more you do, the better you become at it. So the more you seek recovery methods, the better you'll be in your addiction. And that's all you really need to do. And then if you're really bad off, you need to be supervised, or you want to be in a program, you need to go seek out the 30, 60, 90-day programs. Now, mind you, on my page 7 on clearviews.info, you hit go to page 7, you hit the state you live in, and once you open up the state, there'll be a couple local areas. If you don't see your area on there, I do apologize. I can only fit so much on my website. But if you go to Google in the search bar, just put down treatment centers or rehab centers and put down the area that you need to physically go there. Just hit enter. It'll show it to you. Give them a call. Folks, I always say this, and I will never stop saying this. If you're sitting and watching this video right now, and you had a really bad night, and it's been really terrible, and your chest is hurting, your head is hurting, you're drooling, whatever it might be, call 911. You need to do that right now. Call 911. My videos will always be here for you afterwards. But you need to get that attention, that medical attention right now. You need to do that. And then when you come out, you need to start seriously coming up with an action plan on how to battle your addiction. What methods of recovery will you use? Will it be AA? Will it be going into a treatment center? Will it be my methods? Will it be maybe going to YMCA, Lions Club, or Knights of Columbus? But in all those fashions, whatever might be available to you, what you need to do is include your higher power. And that goes for all of us. Because when God created us, He created us in His own view to be perfect. When we're infants, when we're babies, we're perfect. As we grow and mature, we kind of go off the fork in the road. We kind of go down the wrong path. That path might be a lot of criminal activities. Path might be a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. It might be both. But if you've hit rock bottom, which we spoke about yesterday, it is now when you need to reach out to your God, and you need to seek His guidance and direction. And what you have now created after He made a brand new baby out of you, and your life started to be perfect, and you went off that wrong fork in the road, He will take you back from that path, pull you back to where the road before the fork starts, and now guide you. He'll push you to the right side of that fork. And you start walking down that fork, the right fork in the fork of the road. You start walking down there, and with knowledge and educating yourself continuously with your addiction, and with the grace of God, that path will continue until the end of time for you, whatever time that might be. And then if you do that and you seek God, you'll be reunited in heaven with your relatives, friends, when they get there, or if they're not there already. But if you're at that fork in the road right now, close that one side, that's the bad side, and walk down the right side. And if you've already gone the wrong side, like I've done and millions of other people, ask God for direction and guidance. He will pull you from that wrong side and then stick you on the right path. I promise you. Shout out to my friend up north. Today is Sunday. It's been a month and a week. We start a brand new week. Do not let the new week start with lots of business hours for you. You can't work that many hours. That's a sure sign of a stressor. And a stressor could possibly force you into a relapse setback. Don't let it happen. And if it does happen, don't go back to the old abuse again, like I say. Dust your knees, pick yourself up, and keep going. To my friends down in Texas, North Carolina, Virginia, New Hampshire, Georgia. Now there's Georgia, and there's one in Indiana. Folks, look at my videos, read articles on my website, seek AA, check yourself into a rehab center. But folks, stop right now and think what your action plans are going to be. Call me at 631-599-0218 or 844-393-9355. Call me, talk to me, text me, videotape me, or videotape yourself and send it to me. But you need to do something. And for the one person that's out there that might be thinking that, okay, we can stop drinking, but we're going to now possibly at night take Robitussin or NyQuil, that is a form of addiction again. You cannot stop drinking alcohol or doing drugs and substitute it with any other sort of medication. It's an addiction still. No matter what, you still have an addiction, but you're not fighting it properly. If you're consuming Robitussin, NyQuil, or any other thing, or if you're popping painkiller pills, you're not fighting it properly. The only proper way to fight it are two ways. One is to stop feeding the addiction, and two is to educate yourself to fight the addiction. Two ways. Stop feeding the addiction, educate yourself to fight the addiction. Simple as that, folks. And if you do that, you'll succeed. Reach out to other people that are in sobriety. Don't reach out to people that are sitting in bars, standing in the corner, selling drugs. Those are the people you don't want to reach out to. Seek people in recovery. Seek your higher power. Go to your father or pastor at your church. But that's what you need to do. And surround yourself around positive thoughts, positive people. Let's do a recap on dealing with negative people in recovery. Here we go. These are characteristics of negative people. Pessimists or pessimism. The half is half empty, but the positive thing is it's half full. Distrust of the other people. The person will have a tendency to ascribe negative motives to actions of even those people who are trying to help them. People that are trying to help, whether it's you or you're talking about somebody else, they will have a motive. Me trying to help you, whoever you might be, and if you have a remark towards me saying, well, what is in it for you? There isn't anything other than my self-gratification of continue educating myself in my fight of addiction. That's the only thing that I gain out of this. So if you question anybody why they're doing what they're doing, have the facts and judge with the facts that you have. Don't assume. People will lose friends easily and always seem to have somebody in their life who are not talking to. And that's going to happen because when you're going to be negative around people, people are going to separate themselves and walk their own way. And you don't want that to happen. Constantly criticizing other people in the world in general. You cannot do that if it's you or it's people around you. Those are the people that are negative because they are negative about themselves. Sure, they will think that they are high and mighty and nothing that they do is negative or nothing they do is wrong. But it is those people that criticize others that are reflecting what's on themselves. That's all it is. They have a tendency towards engaging in Schadenfreude. What does that mean? That they enjoy hearing about the misfortune of other people. So if you happen to be telling a friend of something that might have happened, they might show compassion for a physical sense, but deep down inside they're enjoying what they're hearing because now they feel that they're better than you. Negative people tend to be completely self-centered. They become offended easily but are obvious to the fact that their own words frequently cause to offend other people. And then they say at the end, sorry, but folks, sorry doesn't fix everything. You cannot go around offending people and then expecting just to say sorry and it's forgotten, because those words, how you offended them, those words that you spoke through your mouth to offend that person will stay in those ears of the offended victim of your abuse, your verbal abuse. They like to also focus on faults of other people and never bring out their own fault. Of course, sometimes they feel superior to everything else and other times they feel inferior. They fear change and will tend to resist it. Of course, one of the hardest things I had to go through, folks, is change myself. To change from drinking every day to not drinking at all. To change from being somewhat negative to being 100% positive. To change from not smiling at all to smiling much more. Changes is never easy, but the only way you and your life are going to change is when you accept the change. open arms, accept the change, and work with whatever change comes your way. They will tend to see the world in black and white. In their eyes, there is either right or wrong. There is no in between, but folks, there's so plenty in between. The only time I'm going to say there is a right and wrong, and there is nothing in between, is if you're either addicted or not, or you're fighting sobriety or not. And that goes to this example. If you're telling me you're an alcoholic and you're quitting the drink and you're not drinking, but you're supplementing it with NyQuil and Robitussin, that is a no-no. That is unacceptable behavior, and it can't be tolerated, and you're not fighting your addiction if that's what you're doing. You might be fighting in your own mind, but you're not fighting it, because you're feeding some sort of different alcohol into your system. Let's go up here. They try to encourage other people to share their negative view of the world. Don't let them do that, but be compassionate about it. Don't just shut them up. They enjoy pulling apart the achievements of other people. They begrudge the success of other people. That's what they do. It is not necessary for an individual to have all these character traits in order for them to be labeled as a negative person. They might only have 2 or 3, but they will have some sort of traits. The words negativity, the pessimism, tend to be used interchangeably. The 2 terms are similar, and negative people will be pessimistic about the future. Tomorrow, I heard it might rain. That's lousy. But the key word was might rain. Our electric might go up. How can they do that, those, whatever language you want to utilize? But they said might. Wait for the conclusion and then judge. Addiction and negativity. Those individuals who fall into alcohol or drug abuse tend to adopt extremely negative mental attitude, and they will do that. Stay clear of negativity, but if you have to be in the same room with a negative person, treat that person with compassion, with sympathy, because they're fighting their own addiction. They might not be fighting, but they have addiction, and it might not be in the alcohol drug sense, but it is with some kind of self-esteem, questionable actions, and everything is so negative because they're trying to find the worst in you and the best in themselves, but they don't realize how foolish they look when they do that. Negativity in recovery can increase the risk of relapse or setback. It is sometimes referred to as a stinking thinking. It can mean that the individual is cynical towards any new information. This closed-mindedness prevents them from going and gaining important new knowledge about their recovery. It gives them the excuse to abandon recovery whenever they're feeling things are getting hard. And you know what, folks? You will run into people that will find any excuse to get away from going to AA or watching my videos or going to a treatment center. It's not a good day for it. I have things to do. Those are the examples that they'll give you. It gives them an excuse to abandon recovery whenever they feel things are getting hard. One of the biggest dangers of such negativity is that they can lead to self-fulfilling prophecy. This is where the addict predicting bad things actually leads to those bad things happening. If you believe it's going to rain or over and over and over, so when it does rain, you're going to say, you see, I told you it was going to happen. Folks, my biggest fear is when I have a bad dream, because there has been times in my life where whatever I dreamt was either factual or it did happen down the road. But I will refuse be so negative to go through my life thinking that something will happen for sure, because if I keep thinking it over and over, when it does happen, it reinforces my negative personality, and I won't allow it. I am a positive person with positive actions to get positive reactions, folks. And I'd like to welcome you to do the same. Eliminate the negativity in your life and eliminate negative people in your life, not to the point where they don't want to exist in your life, but avoid situations. If you're going to be in a room with a negative person, make sure that you have a couple of other positive people with you. The negative person in recovery can be a danger to the newly sober individual. So if you're just now becoming sober and you're around somebody that's negative, questioning everything you do, get away, run. Run for the hills, as they say. Dangers of negative people to those in recovery. It is not only important that people try to move away from negativity with themselves, but they also need to be cautious of the negativity within other people. Folks, I don't need to go through this whole list again because I guarantee you get what I'm saying, but I'm going to go to compassion for negative people is very important to me, because no matter what, you have to show compassion, whoever you face in life, because that person is a human no matter which way you look at it. It's God's creation. Negative people are not bad people. There is always underlying cause for their negativity, such as substance abuse or some type of trauma. It could be medical reason. It is therefore important to view such individuals with compassion and not scorn. This is particularly vital for those who are in addiction recovery and with all the history of such negative attitudes. Sometimes it may be necessary to disengage of the negative person. Remember, disengage, not totally not speak to that person. Show compassion. But it is recommended that people do so with compassion. Do it with compassion. If you need to, explain to the person that you are trying to be more positive about things, that although that you respect their views, you appreciate not to bring it up constantly to you. And if that doesn't work, then you need to go to plan B, which is disengaging. How to deal with negative people. People who are very early in recovery need to keep their time and negative people to a very minimal. Stay away from. You are already a fragile individual. You're at that rock bottom looking up, and you don't need a negative person to reach down and pull you up. You need a positive person to pull you up, somebody that can guide and direct you. And of course, God is that one person that you need to reach out to, but you also need human contact for that, positive human contact. Staying positive around negative people, a person can also be beneficial to them. It really can be. And I'm not going to go into, we've gone through that. I'm already up to 57 minutes. Shout out again to Dr. Gonzalez. He's an international established recovery coach with broad understanding of behavioral psychology, with a master's in counseling and a doctorate in health and human services. He's at 844-414-8444, and it is www.startingpointmn.com. That's startingpointmn.com. Time to Heal, recovery talk TV show that my commercials run on, with a focus in recovery, with Pam Hemphill. She is the host with 36 years of sobriety. You can find them at www.youtube.com/channel/UCWLYVK, and you can also find them on Facebook.com/pages/Time to Heal Recovery Talk TV Show. Reach out to Pam if you want to befriend her. She also has a Time to Heal group you can try to get on, but if you want to befriend her, if you're fighting addiction, you can go to Pam, and it's PAM. Hemphill is HEMPHILL, and tell her Ralph sent you. And when you call Dr. Gonzalez, tell him that you saw or you heard his name on Take Your Life Back, clearviews.info. Tell him Ralph sent you, because I'll be more than happy to send anyone for either both reasons or one of the two reasons to Dr. Gonzalez. If you're in recovery and you need coaching, go seek out Dr. Luis Gonzalez, 844-414-8444. And if you want to become a coach, you can also seek him there too. It's startingpointmn.com. If you want to speak to Pam Hemphill, you can go to Facebook. She has Time to Heal group there, and she's got 36 years of sobriety under her belt, and we congratulate her for that. But she's graciously not taking the token for it. She wants to go with 24-hour chip. Like I always say, to 24 hours. If it's too long for you, break them down into 6-hour shifts. Break them down into maybe 1-hour shifts. But even if it's 4 o'clock right now, wherever you might be, stay sober till 4:02. You accomplish 2 minutes of sobriety in your life. But never, ever exceed 24 hours. And remember, folks, a sober today makes for a better tomorrow. And if you believe it in your mind, you can achieve it wherever you might be. And if it's dark outside, or if it's raining outside, bring the sunshine and let your home be full of sunshine. Let the positive attitude, the positive feelings stay within your home and your heart. If there's any darkness or negativity in your home, eliminate it to the best of your ability. But whoever it might be, show compassion to that person. Remember, that is God's creation, no matter which way you look at it. They might have medical reason for their negativity. It might just be their personality, but show compassion. Folks, never ever give up and a sober today makes for a better tomorrow. I just want to wish everybody a happy rest of the weekend. And keep in mind, I won't be doing any videos on Monday and Tuesday, for I have some classes, but stay tuned. Hopefully on Wednesday I'll get my next issue out. And remember, sober today makes for a better tomorrow. And if you believe it here, you achieve it there. And never, ever, don't you dare ever give up. Have a great day. More importantly, have a sober day. God bless you. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Folks, if somebody had to paint a picture of your image, what would it look like? Good morning. Welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today's feature presentation is how to come back after relapse. So grab your popcorn, grab your soda,